Good morning, everyone, and thank you for that wonderful welcome and for the shameless plug that I'm also going to give. So I'm Caroline Sheedy. I'm a senior marketing manager at a company called GasBuddy, and I'm here to talk about how we're using first-party data our users are giving us, avoiding the big brother and instead providing big value. So a quick agenda. Next, I'll talk about how we're using some of our product features that where users are giving us their data and putting it back in front of them in a way that they weren't expecting that's driving value back to both us and the user. Then I'll talk about location data, how we're using some of that to actually help our users. And then finally, close it out with what we're actually seeing for results. So what is GasBuddy? How many of you have ever actually even heard of GasBuddy? All right, way more than I was expecting. Cool. So if I were to summarize it in one phrase, I would say gas savings. Everything that we're trying to do is provide savings back to our users. Gas is one of those unfortunate expenses that if you have a car, you have to pay for gas. So everything we're doing is driving towards at least helping users out by saving some money. And there's three main focus areas for us. The first is how GasBuddy came about, allowing users to find the best gas price in their area. So most people come to GasBuddy, they open the app, and they're able to search for what the best price is, and whether it's in car profile data, the year part of your make and model, to pull out users who have a car no older than 2014 to send this offer to them. That way we're avoiding somebody who's driving an older car getting an offer that's not relevant. Next up is a feature that we call drives. So users would use this particular feature if they're interested in learning a bit more about their fuel efficiency. And fuel efficiency becomes important because the less fuel efficient you are, the faster you're burning gas, the more money that you have to spend on gas. So every drive that a user takes with this particular feature on is giving them a fuel efficiency rating. So you can see at the top of this screenshot, this particular person got rated OK with an OK-looking emoji face. We're giving you a map in case you wanted to see where you drove, but telling you what time you started, what time you ended, how far you drove, how long you were in the car. And this event that's in the middle of the bottom of the screenshot there that says hard brake, that's one of 3 events that can happen while you're driving that actually impact your fuel efficiency. So hard braking is one of them. The other 2 are speeding and quick accelerations. So this feature is great, but it's only giving you this information on a trip-by-trip basis. So we on the marketing side were actually able to take all of the data, aggregate it, and summarize it back to the user on a month-by-month scorecard. And then the other thing we're able to do with all of this information is segment again. And so what that looks like in practice. So this particular monthly summary email is actually pretty cool. So we've talked a little bit about personalization. This entire email is personalized to the user. We're telling you how many people in your area are fuel efficient, what your monthly fuel efficiency rating is, how many people in your area are more fuel efficient than you. So we've made it a little bit of a competition. How fast you're driving on average, how much time you're spending in the car. And then at the bottom are those 3 events that actually impact your fuel efficiency score. So our whole goal with this particular email is so that when you see May and when you see June, you can see what areas you've actually improved upon and where you can still stand to make some improvements. So this particular person has all 3 events occurring. Hard braking, still a problem for this person. So maybe when they get June, they've made some improvements to their driving. On the segmented offer side of things, so I've talked about our Pay with GasBuddy program as being free. We also have a paid version, like every good company does. Users can pay us either annually or monthly. So instead of saving 5 cents a gallon, you can save 20 cents a gallon. But this particular program is most relevant for people who are actually spending a lot of time in the car. It wouldn't really make sense for you to pay us if you don't drive that much. So what we've done with this drives data is pull out a cohort of users that we call high mileage drivers. People who are spending a lot of time in the car are more likely to be the ones who are willing to pay us for that additional discount. And then our Pay with GasBuddy program. So hopefully you're all getting your phones out, you're ready to join now. I'm going to talk about it again. It's a free national gasoline savings program where you can save 5 cents a gallon, or you can pay annually or monthly to save 20 cents a gallon. But because it's all transaction-based, we're getting all of that transactional data back. So every time you go to the pump, use your Pay with GasBuddy card, we know how many gallons of gas you've pumped, how much you spent, where you pumped, so forth and so on. And with all of that information, we're able to personalize your upsell message. So for people who are in our existing free program, using that data and doing the math for them so that they can see how much they could actually save if they upgrade has been really beneficial for us. So in this top example, we're showing people both monthly and annually what they could stand to save if they upgraded to our paid version. And then the example on the bottom is on a per transaction basis. So after somebody's swiping their card, we're sending this email so that they can see you could have saved, in this person's case, $3.21 instead of whatever it was you did save. And then on into location data. So because the search feature of GasBuddy works best when we know where you are so that we're actually showing you gas prices in your area, most people end up turning it on. But we're actually then able to use this data to provide extra assistance to our users. So the examples that I have here are in the case of a hurricane. So GasBuddy has some features that we can unlock during hurricanes that tell users if a gas station has fuel, gas, diesel, or power, which becomes important. If you're evacuating, you need to know what stations you can still go to. So we were able to use the user's location data to target people who were in the path of Hurricane Florence last year to let them know if they were planning to evacuate, that they should come to GasBuddy first to make sure that they know where to go if they needed to fill up. The other times we've used location data is when gas prices are on the rise. So there are some states in the country where gas can get really expensive really quickly. California is one such state. Recently, gas prices got up to over $4 a gallon. We work with fuel analysts on our team who are predicting when these spikes and when these fluctuations in prices are going to happen. And so they were able to let us know that they were predicting gas prices in California would go up over $4 a gallon. And that gave us the opportunity to get out in front of our users and send them some messaging to let them know that they should fill up now instead of waiting as we were predicting prices would increase. And so what all of this means for us, what are the results that we're seeing? We've seen conversion into our Pay with GasBuddy program increase 4x when we put those tangible numbers in front of users. When people understand what it actually means to them, what the savings will actually be for them, we've seen really strong results. When we've used personalization, we've seen click rates increase 50+% depending on the email in the segment, sometimes as high as 100%. And on top of the hurricane features and the gas price spike notifications being helpful for our existing users, we've also seen massive growth in new customers coming to us so that they can also have this information. So all of these things have been really beneficial for us. We've seen really strong results, but it's also been great for our users. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm curious if you've seen any. I'm curious if we've seen, since you're tracking behaviors, especially of the driving stats, have you actually seen changes in people's behaviors as a result?
Yeah, we have on occasion. People who take it really seriously take it really seriously. And sometimes we've actually seen customer complaints as to why it's still tracking them as heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. And so that becomes a little bit difficult for us to explain. But yeah, people who are into it end up trying to change their behaviors.
Well, what share of people are really into it? I mean, how much of your base is actually engaging at that level where they really want you to be providing them with their data back to them?
It's pretty small. And I think the people who are actually using this feature, it's also pretty small. It's maybe somewhere between 2 and 5% of our overall user base have actually turned this particular feature on. And then the people who are turning it on, they're more likely to be the ones who are really interested in knowing what's happening and interested in changing their behaviors.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm going to save, unless anybody has any questions right now, we can save it for the end. Oh, go right over here. Go ahead. We need you for the feed. We need it for the feed.
Okay.
All right.
Hi. I thought your presentation was great. Now, I'm curious about...
Who are you and who are you?
Oh, sorry. My name is Sheedy Rivera, and I'm from Flatiron Media. Hi. I'm curious about those gas places where you get a discount for using cash versus a card, and how your 5 cents compares to the savings that you can get at the pump directly.
Yeah, it's a really great question. And a lot of the time, the difference between the prices you see for cash and credit is for credit cards. And so debit cards can sometimes unlock the cash price too. But we're actually doing some research right now to actually understand a little bit more about that. Not necessarily just the cash part, but a lot of credit cards that people have are giving them some sort of money back for their gas purchases, whether it's points or a percentage back or something like that. So we're in the midst of doing research to try to figure out how much of an advantage we actually have, especially when you couple it with the affiliate marketing stuff we just launched. If you have the opportunity to earn free gas, it's suddenly putting us ahead of some credit cards.
Since the people who are engaging in a lot of this have the app installed, are you finding any preferences between modes of communication? I mean, you showed some of the reporting is coming in through email. Why not just a push message that pushes them back into the app?
Yeah, so we are using multi-channel marketing, and it is actually really interesting. We've been around for a really long time. So GasBuddy originated in the year 2000 as just a website, and we didn't become an app until 2012. So the users that we had for those 12 years are the ones who are really, really interested in email. So our email engaged segment is very different from those who are engaging with our mobile messaging. So we are using both, and it is a different audience, which is always fun.
Carolyn, thanks very much. Grab a seat. We're going to have the panel